Hello everyone, welcome to the Concern Podcast, where we unpack political, social, economic, and cultural stories shaping our world. I'm Emmanuel Taban. Now, as the saying goes, that what a man can do, a woman can do, or even more better. Today, this saying has been manifested in the East African country of Tanzania, where the country is having an elections micromanaged by their president, who is none other than Madam Hassan Suluhu, who is the first female president of the country. And so many people or observers are raising so many concerns about the manner in which the elections is being conducted. But before we proceed with this video, if this is your first time watching on this channel, Concern Podcast, please subscribe, hit on the notification button, like, comment, and if the videos interest you, share with your colleagues, your closer circle. It's a way of making this channel grow. And thanks for those who have been supporting us. We are so much grateful for all your support. Now, to continue with this video, Tanzania is under very serious political situation right now. There are protests on the streets. And on this video, I want us to know these things about the Tanzanian elections that is happening right now. So what you need to know about the Tanzanian elections is that Tanzanians went on the ballots, on the polling stations on the 29th of October this year. And they went for an elections where, which was meant actually to renew the mandate of the presidency, where Samia Suluhu, who took over from John Pombe Magufuli, who died in 2021, is seeking for her full 5-year term in 2025, this month, through these elections. And also, voters were expected to vote members of the parliament, their representatives as well, in these elections. So it is a general elections. But one thing about these elections is that prior to the elections, so many opposition political parties and leaders were actually barred from being candidates in these elections. The major opposition political parties like the Chandema, the Party for Democracy and Progress, led by Tundu Lissu, has been disqualified from this election simply because the authorities claim that this party has not complied with the electoral rules, and therefore they are disqualified. Their leader, Tundu Lissu, was arrested, charged with treason and cybercrime for criticizing the electoral system. And also another political party, opposition political party, which has gained massive support from the young people, called the Act Wazalendo, led by Kabwe, was also disqualified, citing the same reasons, and their leaders are all arrested. So Tanzania is getting towards this election with the major candidate being Samia Hassan Suluhu, who is the incumbent who took over from John Pombe Magufuli in 2021. And to so many people, in the ballot paper, it is the candidates are Samia Hassan Suluhu, Madam Hassan, Mama Suluhu. These are the presidential candidates on the ballot. So literally, it's like President Samia Hassan Suluhu is running against herself. And therefore, this has raised so many concerns. When the election started on the 29th, the polling stations opened with massive deployment of police and the military presence. I mean, the military were deployed and police on all polling stations. And so many young people called the Gen Z during the election day, they occupied most of the prominent cities like Dar es Salaam, went on the street protesting against the way on how the election is being conducted, citing that the election is being done in the free, not the free and fair manner, because the opposition political parties are being excluded from the ballot. And to these young people, they feel that the elections is not being done in a democratic way, and therefore they protested. They said, raising banners on the street saying no elections without the opposition. And because of these concerns, on the election day, when they hit the streets of Dar es Salaam and other major cities protesting against the conduct of the elections, the military issued a curfew. By 6 p.m. of the election day, there is curfew that was actually issued. And that even with still the curfew, so many Tanzanians went on the street. They went on the street protesting against the protest. And also, one thing that you must know is that as the election was happening, there was internet shutdown in the country. So internet was shut down, and that has affected the messaging on social media app. Messaging were affected. People were not able to share their opinions online as the elections were going on, and the absence of internet has also affected the electoral management system, which is independent system, which is people are supposed to be following how the casting of ballots is supposed to be and the counting is supposed to be done. So all these things have been happening in Tanzania as the elections was happening. So to so many observers, the election is being done in unfree and unfair manner, which shouldn't have been the case for Tanzania, because Tanzania, I mean, for so many years has been seen as one of the most democratic countries. I mean, this is a country that has produced one of the most prominent Pan-Africanists. We're talking about Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, very celebrated Pan-Africanist, and not even Nyerere alone, but also John Pombe Magufuli, the immediate predecessor of Samia Suluhu, who died in 2021. He is a most celebrated African leader, a very prominent leader in the African continent. But Madame Suluhu seemed to have not learned about all this. She decided to go the hard way, and therefore Tanzanians are on the streets protesting against the conduct of an election. So what is expected in this election is that since the major opposition political parties were barred from the election, disqualified, and all their leaders were put under house arrest, what people are expecting is that the ruling party, which is the CCM, is expected to actually deliver a very huge win in this election. Samia Hassan Suluhu is expected to be announced as the president of Tanzania. But this will raise so many questions, because should this election be announced, the results being announced in favor of Samia Hassan Suluhu, this means there's going to be civil defiance. So many people are going to still be protesting because they feel the election is not being conducted in a free and fair manner. Opposition political parties of being restricted from participating in this election. They have been strategically or purposely disqualified from this election, and for that reason there seems to be limited options on the ballot. That's the reason why Tanzanians are on the streets right now. But let's see what is going to happen in the next few days when the results is announced. But so many people, so many international observers have actually warned that Tanzania is likely to go into heavy protest. And so many Tanzanians are even calling that the military take over the country, because they look at they look at this election be conducted in a dictatorial manner, and they say it's rather good for the country to be under military than under Madam Hassan Suluhu. So this is what is exactly happening in Tanzania right now. The country is having an election that is done not in a free and fair manner. The opposition is being barred from participating in the election, raising concerns from members of the public, especially the young people or the Gen Z in Tanzania. They are all over the street protesting. The internet is shut down. Social media messaging apps are not working right now, and that is the situation in Tanzania right now. But let's see what is going to happen in the next few hours or in the next few days. But if this is your first time, again, as I repeat, watching videos on this channel, please subscribe. And this is the Concern Podcast, where we bring you latest informations from East Africa, the Africa continent, and South Sudan in particular in most cases. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I remain Emmanuel Taban, and this is the Concern.